Hey everyone, Deacon Jeff here. I'm recording this right after the 4th of July, and I thought what a great time to reflect on freedom, specifically the God given gift of free will. That same principle our founders clearly had in mind when they wrote the Declaration of Independence and enshrined it in our Constitution. But I also want to contrast that principle to the changing definition of freedom that we see in our society today. A move away from the classical sense that's rooted in the divine to one that's becoming more secular and individualistic. On one side, we see the foundation of freedom from the Catholic view as being a gift from God, rooted in us being created in his image and likeness, and all of us having freedom in the ability to choose what is good, just, and aligned with God's will. On the other hand, modern society often sees free will as an inherent human trait, with individuals as totally independent beings with subjective self-determination as the ultimate guide to pursue their own desires, their goals, and personal fulfillment. But when we see ourselves as created in the image of God with the capacity for free will, we can make meaningful choices and participate in our own moral and spiritual development that's rooted in Christian moral teachings and traditions. In this way, freedom is coupled with responsibility. Every choice has consequences, and individuals are responsible for their actions and the impact on others. But I've seen it argued that this isn't true freedom, it's just a bunch of rules. They say, doesn't everyone have the right to make their own choices as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else? After all, my truth is based totally on my own life experiences. This kind of freedom says individuals are free to determine their own moral codes based primarily on personal beliefs and whatever the current thing is. People are encouraged to follow their own conscience and personal values, which may or may not be informed by religious or traditional moral guidelines. Unfortunately, this attitude can be mixed with that deep-seated, rugged American spirit that made this country great to overemphasize self-reliance and place an artificially high value on personal effort. Without recognizing this need for assistance from a higher power, an individual tends to make themselves that higher power, justifying all kinds of selfish and sinful acts in pursuit of whatever it is that they desire. But the one thing that will counteract all of that is accepting God's grace. As Christians, we believe that God's grace is essential for making good moral choices and being called to cooperate with his plans for us. By cooperating with God's grace, which involves prayer, the sacraments, and practicing virtue, individuals can overcome sin in the me-first version of freedom that we see today. So in the end, true freedom is not just freedom from rules, and while living according to the Ten Commandments and the teachings of Jesus might seem backwards, overbearing, and limiting who I am, it gives the freedom to pursue what is objectively right and just, and keeps one from falling under the control of their favorite vice or sin. Because choosing what God deems as good is the purest form of freedom there is. You can trust me on that one, well, because I've lived it. So may God's blessings be with you and his grace always be with you. And may God continue to bless the United States of America. We'll see you next time.